Hello guys, it's Gaming Expert 100 giving you a special video today. This video wasn't planned, but I'm actually quite a big fan of the zombie series on Black Ops and World at War and stuff, and I found out that there's more to it than just being a mini game. There's actually much big story behind it, and I've done lots of research on it and got all the papers and stuff, and I'm just gonna read out the basic story to you. I've just got it out of my own knowledge as well and stuff and all that. So right, just enjoy and okay. The story simply goes like this: Dr. Max's and his scientist team group 935 were tasked with creating an army of super soldiers and new technology for the government Project Christian Darius, or the Giant. In his experiments, Max has used the element 115 to create zombies. The zombies, however, couldn't be controlled and would always be killed when they weren't berserk. While this was going on, Richtofen was testing 115 on live, living test subjects to create his super soldiers at a Siberian facility. In his experiments, Richtofen used Takia Nikolai Belsinki and an unknown Mexican. When Richtofen actually killed the Mexican, he replaced him with Dempsey. Dempsey had recently been captured when he led a Marine recon team to the abandoned asylum to rescue Dr. Peter McKim, an OSCC spy sent to infiltrate Group 935. Peter, however, had already been discovered. Along with Harvey Yenna, the testing affected each of the subjects' minds, making Dempsey extremely aggressive, quieting Takeo into only reciting Japanese proverbs, and making Nikolai functionless without vodka. It also had the side effect of erasing their memories. Richtofen also did testing on Samantha behind her father's back. The new weapons Group 935 created were also powered by 115. Maxis created the ray gun based on plans received from Shinonuma. Richtofen created the Wonder Waffle G2 from the 115 and the Monkey Bomb. Maxis promised to mass produce the G2 to his superiors, but his growing infatuation with Sophia slowed his progress and infuriated Richtofen, who then plotted to overthrow him and take control of Group 935. Maxis also created 115 power teleporters, but they would always destroy anything that sent through them. All of these experiments were done with his assistant, Dr. Richtofen. When then he used his daughter, Samantha's dog, Fluffy, used as a teleporter subject. He accidentally created the first Hellhound. The dog was teleported, but instead of being destroyed like the passengers, she was zombified. When Samantha came running in and started questioning the dad about the dog, Richtofen left the room. Richtofen then followed through with his previous planned betrayal by locking Maxis and his daughter in a room with their Hellhound, which apparently killed Maxis and Samantha. Richtofen then proceeded to cover up betrayal and unleash the zombies. Richtofen took his super soldiers from the Siberian factory to Shinonuma, apparently to pick up element 115 from a meteor that had landed there and to get the Wonder Waffle G2. After this was done, the group went to Darius, which had been abandoned since the zombie takeover. The zombie group used the Wonder Waffle GT2's 115 to overcharge the teleporter, making it capable of time travel. Richtofen was apparently unaware of this possibility until he tried it. He seems unconcerned that he and his partners have teleported to an abandoned theatre in Germany in an unknown year. Although he didn't know what year it was, Richtofen knew about the theatre, and it was the place where Maxis would unveil the teleporter to the German High Command. Since Maxis was killed, the theatre was abandoned. Sometime prior to Ascension, some Chinese name, was transferred to work on sending monkeys into space. Much to his dismay, his transfer was caused by his superior who he holds a grudge against. As the radio message progresses, Yuri notices a teddy bear and the Musashi dolls and wonders how a child could be let into the station. The child then slowly drives Yuri insane. Yuri, in his state of insanity, finishes the ghost device and has the ghost device activated, letting the zombies and seemingly killed Gersh. Yuri soon realizes his mistake and is heard screaming at the end of the last recording. After the events of Kino de Tartan, the main characters somehow reach the abandoned Soviet launch pad in Ascension, possibly by overcharging the teleporter again with the 115 meteor fragments found in the theatre. When the game starts, the four are landing in the starting room of the lunar lander as the colours turn back on black and white, which the characters acknowledge. The characters then hear Gersh, who tells them that the mechanism must be repaired. He is referring to the Casimir mechanism, which must be repaired by completing different tasks. After all the tasks are complete, the mechanism is repaired. Gersh is free and gives the characters 900-second death machines. While the events of Ascension are occurring in Russia, the events of 5 are unfolding in the Pentagon. A piece of intel receives that the wonderful materials were moved to be American-controlled installations. As the mainframe is visible behind one of the windows in 5, apparently that it was moved there as per the order. The Pentagon thief was a scientist who took the Soviet brainwashing technology and travelled back in time with a teleporter and attempted to control the zombies. This backfired somehow, leaving the scientist zombified and the Pentagon open to attack. While John F. Kennedy, Robert McNamara, Fidel Castro, and Richard Nixon are negotiating, zombies breaking through the Pentagon, and only the 4 of them left to fight. While fighting, they call the characters in Ascension using the 3 red telephones spread across the Pentagon. As they continue fighting, the 3 super soldier test subjects slowly regain their memories. Takio is the first to remember, and remarks to himself that one day, someday, when the group is finished fighting zombies, Richtofen will get what he deserves. Ino also shows his observations of the other 2. He believes Nikolai drinks vodka because he wishes to forget the past and can't function when he remembers it, perhaps meaning Nikolai is beyond hope. Tank, on the other hand, is slowly making progress as he remembers that he'd seen Richtofen before the fight at Shinonuma. Takio notes his shifting memories and believes Tank is finally remembering what Richtofen did. Sometime in the present, George A. Romero stumbled upon Group 335's research while making a World War II movie. He and the cast took a ship out to an abandoned lab in Siberia. After that, he and the ship's crew were zombified. Only the cast made up of Sarah Michelle Gellar, Robert Englund, Danny Treasure, and Michael Rooker remained. This set the stage for Call of the Dead. After the Casimir mechanism was complete in Ascension, it overloaded the teleporter and sent the original characters to Group 935 facility in Siberia, where they were trapped behind a locked door. The celebrities had to help them escape to paradise. Escaping wasn't Richtofen's only goal, however, as he meant to travel to a Siberian factory to obtain the golden rod, which the celebrities found for them. Without knowing any better, Richtofen thanks the group for giving them the DT2s to help fight the zombies. In reality, the group couldn't have escaped after the MGT security system was disabled. It is unknown what became of the celebrities after helping the group escape. Right, guys, we're almost found it. Shangri, however, does not live up to his name, as its inhabitants have all been zombified before the group's arrival. Richtofen states that this is the last step to controlling the world before his teleport there. The temple houses a mining facility filled with the element 115, explaining the inhabitants' zombification. Prior to the group's arrival to Shangri, 2 explorers, Brock and Gary, went and on an expedition to prove their theories on a graphic, something like that. Rock later figures that out that the temple wasn't built by an ancient civilization, but people in the modern era interpreting it. After investigating the temple, the pair accidentally activated the temple's time travel and died in resulting zombie attack. The group travels back in time to help the pairs to survive. The pair's changing fate is illustrated by the radio that changes message and location. As the group helps them, when the group finally create the focusing stone, it lands on an altar with Richtofen's name on it, meaning the temple was in fact another Group 935 facility, and explaining Richtofen's knowledge of its location. The two explorers are sent back to the moment they discovered the temple, indicating that they're stuck in an never-ending time loop. Now, and with both the golden rod and the focusing stone in hand, Richtofen claims that everything's going to plan. That's the most that I've found out today. But I'm gonna give some knowledge on my own things that I think. Well, you may notice in Untoten there's actually the name of Samantha and two other girls on there. That if you look like, I think it's where the room, that really small room before you go into the theatre. Yeah, there's something there. There's like all loads of clues everywhere along every map. Do note that all those 4 characters were in the first Nazi Zombies, but don't speak unless you've got the Ultimate Edition for Black Ops. Then you can get it on there, and then they'll speak in that. But besides that, they don't. But yeah, Dead Ops doesn't really have a story to it. Yeah, so we don't know if the characters have survived that. But anyway, I'm gonna give my information what I think is gonna happen, because there's gonna be one last map pack, which is gonna be Retaliation, and there's no doubt about it because it is gonna be one last one. Because the zombie story hasn't even finished yet, and it's going to be called Quarantine. Now, people say this is a lie, but it's true. It is going to be called Quarantine. It's going to be in Area 51 because there's like different messages and stuff like sending. If you press in codes to the computer, it'll say you put in a code, and it'll say stuff like it'll say this weird German word which means Area 51. And it might be in firing range, but we don't know if that's actually in Area 51, but maybe. But yeah, if any of you guessed that it was going to be in Area 51, you're right. We don't know if there's going to be aliens, we don't know what's going to be in it, but there's definitely something there, and the zombie story hasn't finished yet. Unless Black Ops 2 continues it, but we don't even know if Black Ops 2 is coming out. We just had a really good guess about it, but that is actually the story to it then, guys. And I've also got one last thing. All the characters, they may cooperate with each other, but they actually sometimes there's always one character is always friendly, hates one, and is neutral with one character. So I'm gonna Tank Dempsey is friendly with Takia, hates Richtofen, and is neutral with Nikolai. Nikolai is friendly with Dempsey, hates Takia, and neutral with Richtofen. Takia is friendly with Richtofen, hates Nikolai, and is neutral with Dempsey. Edward Richtofen, friendly with Nikolai, hates Dempsey, neutral with Takia. John F. Kennedy, 65, friendly with McNamara, hates Castro, and is neutral with Nixon. So yeah, guys, that's the basic story for zombies. So the next, because it says that it's all going to plan, and in the next zombie map, it's meant to be when the zombies take over the world, which is going to be his last plan. So I don't know what's going to happen with that, but I'm quite excited to see what happens. I'd like to actually see a video of it, them actually singing, because you never see them, you just see the paper on it. But yeah, but if you notice on the Shangri papers, there's all different papers. There's one last page on the end of it. There's at the front there's always all the zombie maps, and then at the end there's one last page, so that must be the last zombie map. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed, and if you got any other knowledge that I haven't mentioned, then just let me know as soon as you can, because I'm quite interested to find out. And let's game next up on Dark in the next 15 minutes. Okay, see you.